Good evening, everyone. Before we begin our school board meeting this evening, we have a precious young lady, Miss Yaylin Parker, an 8th grader at Harry Hurst Middle School, who will lead us in a prayer before the pledge. Yaylin played on the Hurst volleyball, softball, and soccer teams, and was manager on the basketball team. She also is a Principal's List recipient and was a Student of the Year nominee. We are so happy to have Ms. Yaylin Parker with us this evening, and her mother, Ms. Parker, has joined us as well. Following the prayer from Ms. Parker, Mr. Nakhan will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If we could stand, please.
First and foremost, I would like to thank God for this opportunity to pray for us all. Secondly, I would like to thank God for allowing everyone in this room to see yet another day in spite of our current situation, and I would like to acknowledge those who are not here with us today. May God bless their souls. I pray that God continues to bless and keep each and every one of you and your families. I pray that God provides protection over all his children, students, families, faculties, and staff. As a student, I would like to further express my gratitude to the parish for taking precautions to ensure our safety while educating us and providing extracurricular activities while doing so. I pray that we are all blessed and highly favored to overcome any obstacle or sickness that we may encounter. I pray for strength and comfort for those who may have a loved one dealing with an illness. May God's grace and mercy reign freely amongst us all. In your mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Yaylin. We are blessed by your presence and your prayer. I call to order the St. Charles Parish Public School Board meeting for Wednesday, February 24th, 2021. Our roll call this evening shows that all board members are present, including our superintendent, Dr. Ken Ortling, and our board secretary, Ms. Shelley Babineau. Welcome all. Moving on to resolutions and proclamations. Item 2.01. Resolution honoring Angèle Bourgeois. I would ask Mr. Dennis Nakhan if he would please read that for us.
Madam President, it would be my pleasure. This is State Senate Resolution number 10 by Senator Gary Smith and Representative Greg Miller. To commend and congratulate Angèle Bourgeois on being selected as the 2021 Elementary School Teacher of the Year by the Louisiana Department of Education. Whereas alumna Angèle Bourgeois, class of 2005 at Cabrini High School in New Orleans, was recently announced as the 2021 Louisiana Elementary School Teacher of the Year at the 14th Annual Cecil J. Picard Educator Awards Gala. And whereas Angèle is also an alumna of the University of New Orleans, where she earned her bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies in 2009 and her master's degree in early childhood education in 2012. And whereas Angèle says she always enjoyed school and can remember as far back as first grade volunteering to assist her teachers in decorating a classroom or pitching in on special projects. And whereas as an educator in the St. Charles Parish Public School District, where her passion for education has driven her to set high expectations for every student she teaches. And whereas Angèle states that her aim is to help students use their education to find their voice and take steps towards fulfilling their potential, academically, socially, and emotionally. And whereas she spent many years achieving that goal at Narco Elementary in Narco, Louisiana, where she was named the school's Teacher of the Year in 2019 when she taught students K-5 in school's gifted program. Whereas she is currently achieving the goal teaching English at Almonds Elementary and Zalmans while serving as the school's assistant principal. And whereas because Angèle's hard work has been effective and recognized by her peers, she became one of the 9 finalists for the honor of being awarded Louisiana's 2021 Elementary School Teacher of the Year. And whereas this honor is a creation of the partnership between the Dream Teachers and the Louisiana Department of Education, which annually recognizes and celebrates that state's most exceptional education through the Teachers Program. Therefore, be it resolved that the Senate of the Legislature of Louisiana does hereby commend and congratulate Angel Bourgeois on being selected as the 2021 Elementary School Teacher of the Year by the Louisiana Department of Education. And at this time, I would ask Senator Smith and Representative Miller if they would present that resolution to Ms. Bourgeois.
Madam Chair, if I may, just before we do it, thank you, Member Nakhan, for reading that. We would normally do this in Baton Rouge at the Capitol, but Representative Miller and I were not able to do that this past year due to the COVID restrictions and guests on the Senate, in the Senate chambers and the House chambers. So I appreciate you all allowing us to take a moment to recognize one of our brightest and finest here. We've been so blessed in St. Charles Parish with great teachers, great administrators, school board members, students, parents. We have one of the systems in the state that is often bragged upon, a system that Representative Miller and myself often brag upon and use as a shining example of what public education should be for the state of Louisiana. And we're just so proud that one of our own, once again, is recognized as the Teacher of the Year for 2021. And so we appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
For joining us.
I just want to also personally thank Angel for her service and congratulate her on behalf of all of the residents of St. Charles Parish and our districts. You know, you're a perfect example with your positive attitude, and one of the quotes that you had was, you see every problem as an opportunity. And when we have people like that, we know we can all be successful, and we're very happy to have you, and congratulations to you, and thank you all for this opportunity so that we can honor her.
Senator Smith and Representative Miller, we thank you very much for joining us tonight and honoring our wonderful teacher, Ms. Bourgeois. Congratulations from all of the board. Thank you, gentlemen. You're welcome. Moving on to item 2.02, resolution in memory of Glenda Gale Higginbotham. And I would ask Mr. Sonny Savoy if he would please read that resolution for us.
Thank you, Madam President. Resolution in memory of Ms. Glenda Gale Cunningham. Whereas Ms. Glenda Gale Cunningham served as a teacher 16 years in St. Charles Parish Public School System, and be it resolved as the St. Charles Parish School Board herein expressed to the family of the late Mrs. Gale Higginbotham its sincere sympathy in this, their time of sorrow. And be it further resolved that a page in the February 24th, 2021 board meeting minute book be set aside for the sole purpose of inscribing thereon this resolution, and that a copy of this resolution be presented to the Mrs. Higginbotham's family. And I move for its adoption.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Mr. Savoy and a second by Mr. Nakhan. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 2.02 passes unanimously. Item 2.03, Black History Month Proclamation. I would ask Mr. Ellis Alexander if he'd please read that proclamation for us.
Madam President, it will be my honor. 2021 Black History Month Proclamation. Whereas during National Black History Month, we celebrate the value of the vast contributions of Black Americans to our nation's culture, economy, history, and identity. And whereas Black History Month grew out of the establishment in 1926 of Negro History Week by author, historian, and journalist Carter G. Woodson and the Association for the Study of African American Life and History in 1976, our nation's bicentennial. President Gerald R. Ford officially recognized Black History Month, urging Americans to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. And whereas the 2021 national theme for the observance is the Black family, representation, identity, and diversity. And whereas the St. Charles Parish Public School System is deeply committed to equity and inclusion. This stance supports the cultural and racial affirmation of our students, staff, parents, and community members who identify as Black. And whereas the St. Charles Parish Public School System strives to close the equity and outcome gaps for Black students through policies and practices that improve the experiences of Black students, ensure greater access and opportunity, and honor history, heritage, and contribution. And whereas our community is better because of the diversity of our population, and now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Public School Board, hereby proclaim February 2021 as Black History Month and urge all citizens to celebrate the culture, heritage, and contributions of Black Americans to our diverse community, state, and nation, and our schools, not only during Black History Month, but throughout the school year. And I move that we adopt this proclamation.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Alexander, and is that Mr. Nakhan? I'm sorry. A second by Mr. Nakhan. Thank you. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 2.03 passes unanimously.
Madam President, may I say a few words?
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you. Just in recognition of Black History Month, I'd also like to point out some of the things our schools have done throughout the month of February to recognize Black History Month, including daily announcements, virtual Black History programs, pre-recorded performances, including step teams, dance teams, and soloists, Black History presentations, video presentations that spotlight historical facts, historical figures, and motivational moments, read-alouds of books written by African-American authors, cultural dress-down days, trivia contests, and creative response contests. Our schools have certainly been recognized Black History Month this entire month, and I want to thank Mr. Alexander for reading that proclamation and the board accepting it.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 2.04, Arts in Our Schools Month Proclamation, and I would ask Mr. Art Oquant if he would please read that proclamation for us.
I'd be honored, Madam President. Whereas the arts taught in St. Charles Parish Public Schools include music, visual art, dance, and theater, and whereas March 2021 has been designated as Music in Our Schools Month by the National Association of Music Education, National Youth Art Month by the National Art Education Association, and National Theater in Our Schools Month by the American Alliance for Theater and Education. And whereas education in the arts contributes powerful benefits to all elementary, middle, and secondary students by enabling students to become artistically literate citizens who use a variety of artistic media to independently create and perform work that expresses and communicates their own ideas. Find at least one arts discipline in which they develop sufficient competency to continue active involvement in creating, performing, and responding to art as an adult. Know and understand artwork from varied historical periods and cultures, and actively seek and appreciate diverse forms and genres of artwork of enduring quality and significance. Find joy, inspiration, peace, intellectual stimulation, meaning, and other life-enhancing qualities through participation in all of the arts. Seek artistic experience and support the arts in their local, state, national, and global community. And whereas the 14th Annual Arts Fest will be celebrated throughout the spring 2021 semester with artistic presentations in music, visual arts, dance, theater, and catalog for the community via a virtual platform. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the St. Charles Parish School Board, in conjunction with the above-mentioned national organizations, hereby proclaim March 2021 as St. Charles Parish Public School Arts in Our Schools Month, and urge all citizens to take interest in and give full support to quality school programs in the musical, visual, dance, and theatrical arts for all children and youth. And I hereby that we adopt this resolution.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Oakway and a second by Mr. Robichaux. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 2.04 passes unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to recognitions. Item 3.01, Board and Superintendents recognition. At this time, Dr. Ortling and I will go and present the certificates to our recipients.
And while the superintendent and Ms. Benor make their way up front, I do believe that Mr. Martin, our Director of Gifted, Talented in the Arts, would like to say a few words and thank the board.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Board, for that annual tradition of the proclamation for Arts in Our Schools Month for the month of March. We, the faculty and staff of the arts across the district, cannot thank you enough for your continued support of the arts. I think we can all agree that this calendar year has been nothing short of atypical. And while its impact has been felt in all classrooms across the world, our arts classrooms, in many ways more than most, have been asked to adapt everything we know and love about our content and practices into an environment far different from what we as artists and audiences are accustomed to. Yet somehow, we've done it. School closures last March left our students unfulfilled by unfinished projects and canceled performances, and that meant that our teachers had a call to action to continue to provide our students meaningful and creative outlets in a socially distant, screen-to-screen learning environment. And let's be honest, virtual learning and true accountability aren't exactly synonymous. With guidelines and mitigations redefining our art forms, our teachers have worked to identify essential learning so that the arts education has not stopped, even in a worldwide health crisis. Theater teachers have moved to online performances, music teachers have held concerts without audiences, visual art teachers have worked to create static displays, having overcome the challenge of putting separate materials in every student's hand. Do you know that we have some teachers that teach upwards of 500 kids in a week? Now imagine the perseverance and ingenuity it takes for one teacher to offer 500 different iterations of an arts education, synchronously and asynchronously, not being able to sing or play an instrument indoors. It seems like an impossible task, but our arts teachers are resilient, formidable, and passionate people who will not take no for an answer. Having had conversations with so many of you in this room tonight, including so many of the kids that I see here that I've taught myself, I know that by your own words, the arts has saved your life, your children's lives, your grandchildren's lives, and my life more times than I probably care to admit. I want to challenge us as a school district, as a community of art supporters, and as an organization of educators. Challenge us to offer active support to our arts programs as we always have, with our presence, our words of encouragement, our funding, and our flexibility. Our teachers and students are cutting backflips over and beyond traditional learning scenarios. They are challenging the status quo with reinvigorated performance opportunities for kids and the ways in which we encourage our audiences. There are simply no words to genuinely represent the unimaginable strides our teachers and students have made this year. And our arts teachers have done so with absolute creativity, even in stringent guidelines. I cannot thank them enough for their withedness, their patience, their adaptability, and their unwavering passion to succeed no matter what stands in their way. To my arts teachers, I say thank you with a full heart and a renewed respect for your dedication to our students. Great work, and break a leg.
Board and Superintendent's recognition. Please come forward when your name is called. Hahnville High School student was selected for the U.S. Presidential Scholars Program. Lanny Muller. Destrehan High School students were selected for the U.S. Presidential Scholars Program. Jacob Carter. Eric Jones. Savannah McReynolds. Hahnville High School students placed at the Louisiana State Thespian Festival. Taylor Champagne with a superior rating. Amanda Selman, superior rating. Frank Clavel, superior rating. Marley Cortez, superior rating. Logan Jones, superior rating. Jonathan Siegel Dezorn, excellent rating. Taylor Bailey, excellent rating. Gabrielle Stanfield, excellent rating. Anaya Johnson, excellent rating. And Isabella Truding, excellent rating.
I want you all to know we have big smiles on our faces behind these masks. We're so proud of you all. Congratulations to all of our academic scholars and our thespians. We are so proud of you. Continue the hard work, and thanks to the parents and teachers that helped you achieve tonight, or your achievement tonight. So congratulations to all. Very proud.
Item 3.02, Board and Superintendent's Retirement Recognition. Annually, the school board and superintendent recognize retired employees who have contributed many years of service to the St. Charles Parish Public School System. The president of the board and the superintendent will present gifts of appreciation to each retiree.
When I call your name, come forward. Laska Anderson, 31 years. Suzanne Oquam, 33 years.
Take care now.
Patricia Bailey, 14 years.
Congratulations, Suzanne. Enjoy it.
Cynthia Bullock, 40 and a half years. Andrea Champagne, 20 years. Victoria Dorsey, 22 and a half years. Sherilyn Gagliano, 24 and a half years. Angela Grant, 21 years. Melissa Guidry, 28 and a half years. Tina Email, 20 and a half years. Lawana Jackson, 28 years. Mary LeBlanc, 24 and a half years. Rhonda Luquette, 21 years. Judith Rangi, 30 years. Jill Simon, 28 and a half years. Denise Sullivan, 9 years. Imelda Turner, 19 and a half years. Alice Verscher, 35 years. And Joan Williams, 22 and a half years.
Leopard has clock.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Don't even tell me.
On behalf of the school board, I wish to extend our heartfelt gratitude and sincere appreciation to our 53 retirees for their combined 1,374 years of service. Each and every one of them has contributed to the success of our school system and, most importantly, to the success of our students. As this chapter of your life ends, may a new and exceptional one begin. Congratulations on your retirement, one and all. May God bless you. Moving on to the business items this evening, 4.01 minutes of the January 25th, 2021 committee meetings and January 27th, 2021 regular board meeting.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Robichaux, second by Mr. Nakane. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.01 passes unanimously. Item 4.02, selection of health care insurance carrier. Humana provides health insurance plans for the employees and retirees of the district. The current plans are in effect until April 30th, 2021. The renewal proposal submitted by the district's broker, USI Insurance Services, provides the employees with health insurance coverage options at competitive rates. Acceptance of the health insurance provider is necessary to continue coverage for all employees and retirees. The renewal from Humana reflects no rate increase. This agenda item was reviewed at the Risk Management and Insurance Committee meeting of the board on Tuesday, February 22nd, 2021, and is aligned with Goal B of the board's strategic plan.
Madam President, I move approval to accept the proposal for health insurance from Humana at an approximate total cost of $25,789,644.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Robichaux and a second by Mr. Nakane.
Correct.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.02 passes unanimously. Item 4.03, renewal of dental insurance. Humana Dental Insurance is offered to the district's employees as one of the voluntary employee benefit plans available through payroll deduction. Current plans are in effect until April 30th, 2021. Humana's renewal includes no rate increase. The renewal from Humana will provide the employees with the opportunity to continue to purchase dental insurance at competitive rates. This agenda item was reviewed at the Risk Management and Insurance Committee meeting of the board on Tuesday, February 22nd, 2021, and is aligned with Goal B of the board's strategic plan.
Madam President, I move that we accept the renewal of dental insurance from Humana at no cost to the district. This is all paid by the employee.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Robichaux and a second by Mr. Nakane. Any discussion?
Yeah, I want to
Yes, sir.
reiterate, I can't say that word.
Reiterate.
I want to
You
say
got it.
again what you said the first time, that there's no increase for the dental insurance for next year. So whatever you were paying before, you pay again.
I appreciate that. Any other discussion or comment? Hearing none, please cast your vote.
No.
Item 4.03 passes unanimously. Item 4.04, Selection of employee disability insurance. The school board provides full-time employees with long-term disability insurance. Employees also have the option of purchasing short-term disability coverage. The current provider offered a renewal that included no increase for long-term disability insurance or for short-term disability insurance. Proposals were solicited from 11 carriers. If approved, the coverage will begin May 1st, 2021. This agenda item was reviewed at the Risk Management and Insurance Committee meeting of the board on Monday, February 22nd, 2021, and is aligned with Goal B of the board's strategic plan.
Madam President, I make a motion to accept the proposal for long and short-term disability insurance from Voya Life Insurance Company. That's at a cost for the district for the long-term disability that we pay for the employees at $146,686. The short-term policy is paid by the employee. It's voluntary policy by the employee.
Thank you, Ms. Robichaud.
Second.
It was motion by Mr. Robichaud, a second by Mr. Suffren. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.04 passes unanimously. Item 4.05, selection of provider for group life and employee voluntary life insurance. Group life insurance is provided to the district's employees. Employees have the opportunity to purchase up to an additional 3 times their salary through payroll deduction. The current carrier, Voya Life Insurance Company, submitted a renewal that included a 3% increase. Requests for proposals were sent to 11 insurance companies and 3 were received. The proposal from Voya Life Insurance Company continues the same coverage with competitive rates. If accepted, the coverage will begin May 1st, 2021, and the rate is guaranteed for 2 years. This agenda item was reviewed at the Risk Management and Insurance Committee meeting of the board on Monday, February 22nd, 2021, and is aligned with Goal B of the board's strategic plan.
Madam President, my last insurance item, I move that we accept the proposal for group life and employee voluntary life insurance from Voya Life Insurance Company. The group life policy that the district pays for will cost $394,251. The voluntary life insurance will be paid for by the employees if they choose to elect coverage.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, a motion by Mr. Robichaud and a second by Mr. Suffren. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.05 passes unanimously. Item 4.06, revisions to admission requirements for non-resident students or certificated employees. In order to recruit and retain effective certificated staff who reside outside of St. Charles Parish, the Human Resources Department conducted a study to determine the feasibility of allowing certificated staff to enroll their pre-K 4-year-olds through 12th grade children into St. Charles Parish Public Schools. The data collected from the study determined potential participation and costs associated allowing these non-resident students enrollment in the school system. Administration recommends the following for board approval. Allow certificated employees to register non-resident pre-K 4-year-olds through 12th grade children in school of choice beginning the 2021-2022 school year, provided adequate space and staffing are available. Proof of legal custody, guardianship is required for registration. Employees will be charged $1,000 per child to offset educational costs. Transportation will not be provided at this time. Before and after school childcare will be offered at standard rates if space is available. Non-resident students will only be able to participate in face-to-face learning. Approving this recommendation will require revisions to Policy 1.03, School Admissions, and Policy 1.04, Non-resident students. This item was reviewed at the Personnel and Policy Committee meeting of the Board on Monday, February 22, 2021, and is aligned with Goal B of the Board's strategic plan.
Madam President, I move that we approve the revisions to admission requirements for non-resident students of certificated employees at an approximate cost of $280,000.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Nake and a second by Mr. Savoy. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.06 passes unanimously. Item 4.07, Policy 1.03, School Admissions, first reading. In order to approve the granting of non-resident certificated employees the privilege of enrolling their child or children in St. Charles Parish Public Schools, revisions to Policy 1.03, School Admissions, is required. This agenda item was reviewed at the Personnel and Policy Committee meeting of the Board on Monday, February 22, 2021, and is aligned with Goal B of the Board's strategic plan.
Madam President, I move that we accept the revisions to Board Policy 1.03, School Admissions, for the first reading.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Naka and a second by Mr. Savoy. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.07 passes unanimously. Item 4.08, Policy 1.04, Non-resident students, first reading. In order to approve the granting of non-resident certificated employees the privilege of enrolling their child or children in St. Charles Parish Public Schools, revisions to Policy 1.04, Non-resident students, is required. This agenda item was reviewed at the Personnel and Policy Committee meeting of the Board on Monday, February 22, 2021, and is aligned with Goal B of the Board's strategic plan.
Madam President, I move that we accept the revisions to Board Policy 1.04, non-resident students, for a first reading.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Naka and a second by Mr. Savoy. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.08 passes unanimously. Item 4.09, personnel items. Staffing management is necessary to maintain effective functioning of the St. Charles Parish Public Schools. The Human Resources Department provides a staffing update monthly to the Board. This agenda item was reviewed at the Personnel and Policy Committee meeting of the Board on Monday, February 22, 2021, and is aligned with Goal B of the Board's strategic plan.
Madam President, I move that we approve the staffing requirements as presented to the Board on Monday, February 22nd.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Naka and a second by Mr. Savoy. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.09 passes unanimously. Item 4.10, request for proposals contracted custodial services. The present contract for custodial services will expire on June 30th, 2021. In order to prepare for the 2021-22 school year it is appropriate to request proposals for contracted custodial services at Albert Cammon Middle, Central Office Complex, Dr. Rodney R. LaFawn Performing Arts Center, Lakewood Elementary, Maintenance Facility, New Sarpy Elementary, Student Health Services, St. Rose Elementary, Ethel Scheffner Elementary, and R.J. Vial Elementary. This agenda item was reviewed at the Capital Improvements Committee meeting of the Board on Monday, February 22, 2021, and is aligned with Goal D of the Board's Strategic Action Plan.
Madam President, I move that we approve the request for proposals for contract custodial services at the various sites mentioned.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Alexander and a second by Mr. Nakane. Suffren, I apologize. Second by Mr. Suffren. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.10 passes unanimously. Item 4.11, request for proposals, waste management services. The present contract for waste management services will expire on June 30th, 2021. In order to prepare for the 2021-22 school year, it is appropriate to request proposals for waste management services for all school and district sites at this time. This agenda item was reviewed at the Capital Improvements Committee meeting of the Board on Monday, February 22, 2021, and is aligned with Goal D of the Board's Strategic Action Plan.
Madam President, I move that we approve the request for proposals for waste management services for all school and district sites.
Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Alexander and a second by Mr. Suffren. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.11 passes unanimously. Item 4.12, request for proposals, emergency construction of building components and/or grounds. The district's Hurricane Disaster Preparedness and Recovery Plan includes a recommendation by FEMA to request proposals for emergency services. These services will assist the district in expediting recovery from a disaster. The current contractor providing these services has notified the district that they are declining the option to renew their contract. Physical Plant Services has completed the required documents to request proposals for emergency construction of building components and/or grounds. This agenda item was reviewed at the Capital Improvements Committee meeting of the Board on Monday, February 22, 2021, and is aligned with Goal D of the Board's Strategic Action Plan.
Madam President, I move that we approve the request for proposals for emergency constructions of building components and/or grounds.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Alexander and a second by Mr. Nakane. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.12 passes unanimously. Item 4.13, resolution providing for the issuance of taxable general obligation school refunding bond.
Madam President, I move that we approve the resolution providing for the issuance of taxable general obligation school refunding bonds.
Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Suffren and a second by Mr. Robichaux. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.13 passes unanimously. Item 4.14, request for proposals, revenue collection and compliance system. St. Charles Parish Public Schools, the sales tax collection body for St. Charles Parish, uses a software system to account for the collections, remittance, and assessment of local sales and use taxes for approximately 10,000 accounts. The current system in place will be phased out and no longer updated. A revenue collection and compliance system is necessary to run and analyze reports and process assessments. This item was reviewed at the Finance and Audit Committee meeting of the Board on February 22, 2021, and is aligned with Goal C of the Board's Strategic Action Plan.
Madam President, I move that we approve the request for proposals for a revenue collection and compliance system.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Suffren and a second by Mr. Alexander. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.14 passes unanimously. Item 4.15, Statement of Cash and Investment Guidelines. Upon review of the Statement of Cash and Investment Guidelines, revisions within the parameters set by state law are advisable to allow the school board to realize greater return on investments. This agenda item was reviewed at the Finance and Audit Committee meeting of the board on Monday, February 22, 2021, and is aligned with Goal C of the board's Strategic Action Plan.
Madam President, I move that we approve the Statement of Cash and Investment Guidelines.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Suffren and a second by Mr. Robichaux. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.15 passes unanimously. Item 4.16, accounts payable for the month of January 2021. Invoices and other financial obligations of the school district are customarily paid weekly. Request for approval of these transactions is normally made to the board monthly. The board must approve expenditures of public funds under its jurisdiction. This agenda item was reviewed at the Finance and Audit Committee meeting of the board on Monday, February 22, 2021, and is aligned with Goal C of the board's Strategic Action Plan.
Madam President, I move that we approve the accounts payable for the month of January 2021 in the total amount of $2,411,419.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Suffren and a second by Mr. Alexander. Any discussion? Thank you. Hearing none, please cast your vote. Item 4.16 passes unanimously. Moving to our closing items. 5.01, the chair will now hear from chairpersons of any committee wishing to discuss their meeting on Monday, the 22nd.
Madam President, on Thursday, February 18th, the Capital Improvements Committee had a Zoom meeting with the Chief Plant Services and Security Officer, Mr. John Rome. And we reviewed 3 requests for proposals that day, and they were approved and moved forwarded to the Monday night's committee meeting along with the rest of the board. And they were reviewed at that committee meeting and approved for tonight's agenda. And all 3 of those proposals were approved tonight. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander.
Madam President, the Finance and Audit Committee had a meeting on Monday, February 22nd, and we covered 5 items. 3 of the 5 items were on the agenda for this meeting and were approved by the full board. Those 3 items were item 4.12, requests for proposals for revenue collection and compliance system, 4.15, statement of cash and investment guidelines, and 4.16 accounts payable for the month of January 2021. The committee was also presented information by Corey Fauché, St. Charles Parish Director of Economic Development, relative to a request for an industrial tax exemption from the Green Shutter Tea Company. The committee considered the request and approved the exemption. Also, the committee was presented information by Charmaine Williams, Director of Child Welfare and Attendance, relative to operational changes that will go into effect for 2021-2022 for the before and after school child care program. The committee had no objections to the changes. Lastly, the Budget Review Committee had a meeting on February 8th and covered several items, including LaFawn Performing Arts Center financial update, federal minimum wage impact, financial impacts of COVID-19, and update on sales tax collections. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Suffren.
Madam President, Personnel and Policy Committee met on Monday, February 22nd, covered 5 items. 4 of those items made it to the board table tonight, and I'd like to readdress those. First item was a revision to admissions requirements for non-resident students of certified employees. That item was approved tonight, and because of its approval, it triggered 2 policy changes. Policy 1.03, school admissions. We had the first reading. That was approved. Also, policy 1.04, non-resident students. That also was approved tonight. The other item that we brought to the board table tonight was personnel items. Happy to say that those personnel items were approved. The other item that was presented on Monday, the 22nd, was a school bus operator recruitment plan, additional steps. And I got to commend Ms. Teresa Brown, Mr. Johnny Rome, and Ms. Teresa Weber for thinking outside the box and going above and beyond to try and rectify our shortfall on bus drivers because of COVID, because of retirements, things like that. And for a while it was looking pretty bleak, but through their efforts, things are looking better. We're not there yet. Still a lot of work to finish up, but putting their heads together, I think we're well on the way. So I want to commend them for their efforts. And Madam President, that concludes my report.
Thank you so much, Mr. Narcan.
Madam President, on February 4th, the Technology Committee, composed of myself as chair, Ms. Bernard, Mr. Alexander, met with Stephanie Stodd. Some of the topics discussed were the great things teachers are doing for our students with technology in the classroom, the outdoor wireless access points that are being installed at all school sites, the additional Chromebooks devices being provided to the district from the LDOE, and an update to the annual obsolescence projects. Also, the Learn With Us bus is rolling on the east side of the river at those sites. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Savoy.
Madam President, the Legislative Committee met last Monday and reviewed with the board various items that are pending before the legislature, as well as various items that are being considered by the federal government that may or may not impact public education. Some bills, as you know, the legislature will be in session. This is a fiscal session that will be coming up shortly. And there are some pre-filed bills that we talked about that will deserve our consideration and position on. We reviewed those at our meeting, and we'll be keeping the board abreast of any additional bills coming from both the legislature and from the federal level.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Madam President, the Insurance Committee and Risk Management Committee did meet, like always. First of all, I don't know if I want to apologize or thank Mr. Suffren and Mr. Narcan for being on this committee, because this is a committee that meets more than just on that Monday night. We meet constantly. And I want to thank Mr. Oakland for being on the committee last year, and I know he's relieved that he's not on the committee this year. But this was a tough year because we went out for some comparative quotes on our health insurance to see if we could save some money, because as you know, the insurance committee spends more money for this district to take care of our employees. We compete with the curriculum, but I think, and yeah, but I think we spend more money. We try not to. So I also want to thank John Kane for working so hard, keeping our pricing right, working with Jesse Babbitt and USI, who's done a tremendous job for us. This meeting approving all these items, the health insurance, the dental insurance, the disability insurance, and a group life insurance, is kind of like crossing a big hurdle for us. Now we can relax for about 2 weeks, and then we're going to start meeting again for next year's renewals. So that concludes my report, ma'am, but that's what we did. It's been a
Thank you,
long
Mr.
year.
Robichaud. I know all of our entire school system appreciates what your committee does because you make sure that we get the insurance we need at the best and most effective cost we can get. So thank you to your committee.
Thank you.
I believe that concludes all of our committee reports. We move on to 5.02, the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam President. It's a little long, so please bear with me, but quite a few important things to announce. Kindergarten registration for St. Charles Parish Public Schools is now open. Children who will be 5 years old by September 30th, 2021 are eligible to register for kindergarten. Parents and guardians can currently register using the link under the district news on the St. Charles Parish Public Schools website, or may do so in person at the school in their attendance zone from March 8th through the 12th from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Students registering online or in person by March 12th will be administered the kindergarten screener at an assigned time later in the spring. Children currently enrolled in a St. Charles Parish Public Schools pre-K or Head Start program do not need to register for kindergarten since they are already enrolled in the school system. Testing. The ACT will be administered on March 9th, 2021 to all 11th graders and some seniors. All 10th graders will also take the pre-ACT on the same day. Students not taking either of these tests will participate in remote learning on this day. Each spring, the Louisiana Department of Education administers assessments known as LEAP 2025 in grades 3 through 8. Students in grades 3 through 4 will take paper-based assessments April 28th through May 4th, while students in grades 5 through 8 will take computer-based LEAP 2025 assessments. The assessment window for computer-based testing in grades 5 through 8 will last from April 27th through May 12th. High school students will also begin to take LEAP 2025 assessments in April. Seniors will begin April 15th. All other high school students will take these assessments May 3rd through the 6th. All high school students not taking LEAP assessments will have remote learning on these days. More information will be communicated by the high schools. All e-learning students in grades 3 through 8 and high school students taking LEAP courses are required to participate in LEAP testing at their schools. Your child's school will contact you soon about their testing schedule and expectations. Honor Band. In lieu of traditional honor choir and honor band events, school programs are preparing video performances to include in this year's virtual Art Fest in mid-April. The Superintendent's Gallery will open on Tuesday, March 16th at 6 o'clock in the lobby of the LaFawn Performing Arts Center with an in-person ceremony honoring the 13 student artists chosen from each school site. In lieu of the traditional in-person art show exhibition, all student artwork is being photographed and cataloged for this year's virtual Arts Fest. Arts Fest, the 14th annual Arts Fest, will be celebrated with artistic presentations in music, visual art, dance, theater, and media arts accessible to the community through a virtual platform. Satellite Center facilitator Brian Goff and his interactive media students are working to catalog this artistic content and virtual learning or virtual platform on which it will be available. Be on the lookout for announcements through public information and the district's website for access to this digital content through the virtual platform. Athletics. The Destrehan boys soccer team finished their regular season with a 6-10-5 record. They entered the state playoffs as the 13th seed, lost to Acadiana High School in the bi-district round of the state playoffs. The Destrehan girls soccer team finished their regular season with a 9-2-2 record. They entered the state playoffs as a number 13 seed. The Lady Cats lost to Baton Rouge High School in the bi-district round. Wrestlers from Destrehan and Hahnville will participate in the state wrestling tournament being held this weekend, February 26th through the 27th, at the Raising Cane's River Center in Baton Rouge. Hahnville girls soccer finished the regular season with a 6-8-2 record and entered the state playoffs as a 20th seed. The Lady Tigers defeated Thibodaux 5-4 in the first round, and number 3, Captain Shreve, 2-0 in the second round of the playoffs. They lost to Mandeville High on Saturday, February 13th in the state quarterfinals. Hahnville girls basketball team ended the 2021 season as undefeated district champs with a record of 16-3 overall. They defeated Airline High School in the first round of the playoffs and Ruston in the second. They next play Ponchatoula High School tomorrow night at 6 p.m. in Ponchatoula in the quarterfinals. Good luck, ladies. Hahnville boys basketball finished the regular season as district champion with an overall record of 18-3 and are the number 4 seed in the playoffs and will host Southwood High School on Friday, February 26th at 6:30 p.m. at Hahnville High School. Good luck, men. Staff Achievement Awards. The St. Charles Parish Public School System is conducting a search for Staff Achievement Award nominees, and there are plenty. One staff member from 9 various categories will be selected for recognition at the Staff Achievement Awards program to be held in April. The deadline to submit a nomination is Monday, March 29th, 2021. Nomination forms will be available on the district's website. For more information, contact the Public Information Department. Please join me in recognizing these employees that demonstrate that you and I, we are St. Charles Parish Public Schools. Madam President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Ortling.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Robichaux and a second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned. Great meeting.